So I had a request on one of the Discord servers that I'm a member of. I think it was mine. Was it my Discord server? Could have been. Anyways, someone was asking about the Minecraft mods that I use. And we can talk about mods. We can talk about mods from tit to tat, left to right, up and down, front to back. Mods have been around for a very long time, probably nearly as long as the game has been around, at least on Java, and Java, of course, is the original one. So the thing about mods, if you don't know what a mod is, you should. But mods are anything that modifies or changes the game. It's just a little bit of extra code that makes either the way the game plays or the way the game looks different. It can add or subtract from a game. It can change game modes entirely. Hell, I think the latest mod I saw was released, the latest really super popular mod that everyone's getting hyped up about is Among Us in Minecraft. How cool. I am dying to play that. So if I can get a crew together, I'm going to play some Among Us on Minecraft. It'll be pretty rad. So I'm standing in the world. I just loaded this world up. This is actually a creative world. Let me just see. That I had built in 1.16.1. Forgot that I had. And you can see it's got a perimeter all the way down through and around and around. And I actually used one of the mods I'm going to talk about in just a little bit to create this perimeter. And the reason I created the perimeter is that thing behind me. And I'll get to that too. But, yeah, let me just get into this. So, here we are in this giant perimeter. This thing down here is actually a mob farm. I have built this style of mob farm like this, or similar to this, for a very, very, very long time. And when they put soul sand in, of course, we got the up and drop chute. It used to be they just roll into a kill chamber. And they used to be a lot bigger, but I have found a way to, I was trying to determine a way to build this mob farm in a single chunk and make it effective and have the mob spawning be a little more effective. So that's why this is here. And the reason I wanted to build it in the middle of a perimeter is so only spawning will happen here. How did I do that? How did I know? So many questions. So, with mods, as I said, there are two types of mods. There are client-side mods, which is what we'll be talking mostly about tonight. And there are server-side mods. If you played on a server, actually, you know what? I want to try and fire this up and not kill my computer. Wish me luck. So, generally speaking, a server-side mod is when you log on and the game is almost entirely different than it was originally, or has some different mechanic entirely. For instance, I logged on to like Davey504's server recently, and you log in and there's all these different portals to different worlds. It's like a multi-link, multi-server thing. That's pretty cool. That's a mod. There is a shop. You can't break any of the blocks. You can't buy anything unless you get the money. You can't get the money unless you do whatever the mod tells you. That's a server-side mod. All kinds of different mods. I use mods that just help kind of building and creating, making life a little more usable in the game. Client-side mods generally can't affect the game on whole. It can only affect it for you and not everyone else, unless you're using a cheat mod like X-Ray. X-Ray is I don't know if they still make them. I don't know if they still work, but it used to be that X-Ray was essentially a texture pack. Texture pack in itself, to modify the way the game looks, is a mod. There was a texture pack, an X-Ray mod, that allowed you to just see right down through the entire ground and pick out where the diamonds were, because that was all you needed, was to get the diamonds and get them first. And then eventually they made server-side mods that could detect if you were using an X-Ray mod and generally would boot you or ban you for doing it. Client mods, texture packs, shaders. Falling out of the world. Texture packs, shaders, when you want to get the fun lighting and the water reflections or the water shapes. Ray tracing, I think, is technically a texture mod, but I'm not entirely sure. The mods I use are a little different. And where do we start? Let's see. Let's start with how do we even go about using mods to start with. So, with that, let me close out of my game here. I've got a good reason for that. Quit this. Minimize that. Don't need that. Don't need this. You can see my desktop. Rare sighting, but there it is. Anyway, got lost, sorry. To install and use client-side mods, you have to have a mod loader, which is in itself a game mod. There's been a lot of different versions and different names and different flavors of mod loaders over the years. One that is persistent is Forge. Forge has been around in various shapes and sizes for a very, very long time. And another one, which is the one I currently use, is called Fabric. Ship the rip. So I use a mod loader called Fabric, which supports a lot of mods. Supports them quickly, and it's super lightweight and just works really, really, really well. And I will show you a little bit about it. See, mine's already installed, so I'm not going to show you how to set it up, but it's as simple as, I'll tell you what. For anyone who is interested, I am going to post links to all the home pages and all the downloads for all of the mods that I use and all of the current versions. Since I'll get into this a bit more in a minute, but since I use Fabric, the mods that need to be loaded and have to be loaded by Fabric have to be created specifically for Fabric. So I linked the Fabric versions of the mods that are available. When you install a mod loader, what you'll see is when you fire up your launcher, you get a new entry on your game menu. Well, your launcher menu down here. Normally this would say latest version 1.16. I've installed Fabric Loader 1.16.13. I will select that one and hit play, and hopefully this won't freeze up my computer or shut it down. So wish me glitchy luck. There's glitchy dude. I think I've got Minecraft set to use way too much memory, and I don't know why. I think I've got client side set for like 4 gigs or something outrageous like that. Not that it makes a difference. So you will notice that, maybe you won't notice. You should notice. Right down here, the bottom right corner, it says Optifine, which is one of the mods that I use, but it also says Minecraft 1.16.3 Fabric modded. Simple as that. Simple as pie. So, let me see. The Fabric mod loader, like I said, it's super, super easy to install. You literally just download the, you will download the installer. You can either do it with the jar or with the executable. If you're running Windows, the executable is fine. If you can do the jar as well on Windows, but if you're running anything else, you should probably get the jar, because an executable won't run on Mac or Linux correctly. Not without a little twisting and turning. So this is my downloads mods folder. Fabric requires a loader, and then also some of the mods require a Fabric API, which should be the first thing that you install after the mod loader is installed. And all you have to do to install a mod is you download it, you grab the jar. Your computer may not show the file extension because Windows by default turns off file extensions, which I'll never understand. It makes no sense whatsoever. But the way to install a mod, you get the jar file. For instance, this is the Fabric API 0.23.0 build 410.116. Copy it, or Control C, of course. And then you have to find the mods folder. And that's the trickiest part because all of that stuff lives in a hidden folder. So what you want to do, does this work here? I don't know if it does or not. I know it works in PowerShell. That's why I'm asking. It probably won't work here. Nope, won't work here. Okay. You have to go to your C drive. You have to go to users. You have to find your username, QdB. And then, what happened? Oh, that's why. Right after your username, you put a backslash, then you type appdata app data. Takes you to a whole list of folders. Go into roaming, .minecraft, and if you don't have a mods folder, you just right click and go to new folder, name it mods. So go into your mods folder and you would just right click and paste, which I've already got it in there, so did it anyway. And that's it. That's all there is to installing a mod. Now I recommend installing one mod at a time. You can do a bunch of them at once. Sometimes you'll bump into complications. So we've got the oh, hey, honeybee. Just saw you pop in. Let's see. Okay, so we got the mod loader installed. We've got the Fabric API dropped in. One other requirement for some of the mods is another one, and it is... Oh, really? You know what? Computers are stupid. Anyway, the next one that will be required for some of the mods that I use anyway is called Malilib or Mali Library. So go to mods, and that would be right here. And you do the same thing. You will download it, save it into a folder, copy it, paste it into your mods folder, and it's ready to roll. So, first usable mod we will get to. Bounding Box Outline Reloaded. It's not one that I use a lot, but it does have its use. Ship, if you ever use VR, let me see. I'm all the way out here in the boonies. Let me see if I can remember how to teleport. Did I do that right? No. Oh well, I'll just go manually. TP command is so simple. I don't know why I never remember the format of it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hit a wall of lag. Have you used Bounding Box Outline Reloaded? Oh yeah, it is pretty laggy when I'm playing single player. I see that now. Chopitude. All right, new plan. New plan. First, I'm going to kill this music because it's breaking my head. It turns out when I run single player, it murders my machine. So let's go to TerraChunks and see what's up. So here we are in my village. I want to show you Bounding Box Outline Reloaded and what it does. This direction over here will be the best place to show it. It will draw a line for you on the edges of what I use it for anyway. It will draw a line for you on the edges of biomes in case you need to build something that is biome specific. And when would that ever be handy? Well, for instance, this is a good spot right here that I'll show you. I built a river-based drown farm on the last server, and I needed to build water up in the sky, 250 or so blocks in the sky that perfectly matched the shape of the biome that I could only see down here. How was I going to know all the way up there what the line was down here? Well, you go to your options and you go to bounding box outline reloaded, and it does a lot of different things. It'll show you your spawn chunks, your lazy chunks. If you're in single player, it shows you all this stuff. It'll show you mob spawners and all that fun stuff and all this. So if you get the game, if you are in a multiplayer game and they give you the seed, you can take the seed, create a single player world with that exact same seed number, and you can find all the stuff with this. There are better and easier ways, but that is one way to do it. So we'll turn it on, and let's just see biome borders. There we go. So right there, it shows me exactly where the edge of the river is. So right here is desert, which, well, yeah, this is desert. You can tell by another, oh no, I'm actually in river here. Now I'm in river. This is river, even though there's ground here, it's still river. And then this is desert, and it shows you exactly the edges that you want. Even though I think this is, I know why this isn't accurate. My bad. It still thinks I am using, because it still thinks I'm using the seed from the earlier server. This is a different server. But imagine if this was all river. I don't have the seed for this server yet, so I can't make it reproduce. What you would have to do to get it to work in an online map is make a single player of the same seed. Well, it's useful in multiplayer too. What I said, like I said, you get the seed of the multiplayer map, make a single player world with the exact same seed, load up bounding box outline reloaded, get the lines that you need, and then make sure there's I think it's a config file. You tell it to cache the outlines, and then you can go into the multiplayer with the same seed, and it will hold the lines for you. And if we were near spawn, which is too far away for me to show you because I don't have Elytra and rockets yet, it will show you the box around spawn, what spawn chunks and what isn't. So that's the only thing I use that for. But like I said, there are, if you look, there are a ton of options on here that you can change with this. You can change the height. You can change, I think you can change the color. You can have it show all of these different structures. So yeah, it's a pretty cool mod. It's pretty cool. Turning off. Okay. There's a shortcut for that. You can use the B key, but I just like going the other way. All right. What's next after bounding box? Let me see. After that, we go to fabric. Oh, here's the one that, no, we'll skip that one. We'll go no, we'll do that one. We'll do that one. We will do that one. Okay. Next. And this is the one everyone's been waiting for. If Sam was here, this is the one he should be watching, because I've been telling Sam, hey Sam, you really need to start using Lightmatica if you're going to build those complex machines. I would know. I've built a complex machine or two in my time. The man doesn't listen. All right, on to Lightmatica. Lightmatica will let you build something anywhere, whether it's creative, survival, whatever. You can build something anywhere. Maybe it doesn't work in survival. Anyways, and it lets you take a template or make a copy of it. And then place that template somewhere else so you know exactly block by block how to build it. So let me see if it actually works in survival for capturing. I don't know if it does or not. I've never tried it. Like I said, a lot of these mods, I use them for one or two specific things, and they do a lot more. They do a lot more than I know. They can be very, very complicated. So let me see if it works in here. If not, I'm going to go to single player, and you guys are going to have to suffer through the chopitude while I work it. That's all. Okay, let me see. So, The way it works is, well, I know I'm going to have to get a stick first because that's what I have it set for. If it's going to work at all. I've never tried to do some of this stuff in survival, so this is going to be kind of interesting. So you can change your hotkey, but for me, my hotkey for Lightmatica currently is it M? It is. Let me check and make sure which. Tons of options. Tons and tons and tons of options. I can't tell you what all of them are because I haven't used them all, but there is documentation for a lot of this stuff. Minecraft stick is my tool item. So what I need to do is go to here, area selection, see if it works. Got to turn on, hit M and R for rendering on. Hit this. Oh, there we go. That's a left click for point 1, a right click for point 2. You see it's got a box around this little hut. Now, all I need to do to save this as a schematic, if I wanted to, is go back, hit M for my menu, go to Area Editor, and change the name. Which is weird, you can't hold down the backspace. You actually have to backspace out every character. Very, very strange. Oh, what have I done? There's those hotkeys again. Example, hut. We'll set that, save schematic. Boom. And you can organize it into folders and whatnot if you want. I don't. That was ignore entities because I don't need it, any of the stuff that's floating in chests and that sort of thing. Okay, go to save schematic. That's it. And I hear a bad guy behind me. Hey, you're on the wrong side of the fence. I'll whack you with this stick. Aw, can't whack people with a stick. You should be able to. Okay, so we have taken a blueprint, taken a picture, taken a schematic. Of course I left in game. Jeez. So if you want to place a schematic, you can see one up there. I'll get to that in a bit. You go to your M button again to bring up the Lightmatica menu. You go to load schematic, and we just saved example hut. Load schematic, make sure create placement is checked. And as long as rendering is on, it will place your hut. Now, what's fun about this is you can go layer by layer. And let me do that actually. Single layer, set here. And you can build it up layer by layer, and it's page up and page down to shift the layers. And you see how this block is showing red? It's because the wrong block is there. If I put stone there where it wants sandstone or carved sandstone, it says no, and that's the wrong block. Won't hurt it. You can do it if you want. But yeah, that's that way to do that. You can do, like say you don't like that hut right there in that orientation. You can go into your schematic placement and you can configure it. You can raise it, you can lower it, you can bring it forward or back, to and fro. Let's say I want it over here and I want to rotate it just a little bit. Now it's facing the other way. Another thing that you can do, which gets a little bit tricky, you can go back into render it all and then go to turn off, where is it? Render as translucent. And it looks like a solid building. Actually, you can make it look like it's actually there. And that's basically just for doing screenshots and such. And I keep doing that wrong. Where is it? Enable rendering true. Nope. Don't want the area box. Don't want schematic overlay. I think that was it. Anyways, yeah, now it actually looks like there's a building there. And there isn't because it's turned off just like that. That makes it really, really tricky to build. You can walk through it. It's not really there. But yeah, that's one way to do it. Now, this one up here, why is that up there? And how did that get there? Well, that's that mob farm I was talking about in the very beginning, a very similar version. And let me just sleep this so it makes it safer. Guinea pig lurking. Kids lurking, honeybee chilling. All right, back in the village. Fake house somewhere. I don't even know where I left the fake house. There's a fake house. Let me get some, yeah, let me get some of this. And this. Want to see a real cool trick? Oh, what's that? Anyone know? Nope. We'll get to that. So, as I said, that is my design for a general mob farm. It's not actually there. That's just a schematic placement. I haven't built it yet. Ship knows. Why is it all the way up in the air? The reason it's all the way up in the air is because you stand on that platform and you want there to be no mob spawnable spaces around you at all. However, for optimal spawning, you also want your mob farm to be as low as possible. So what's the best way to know? Now mobs will spawn within a sphere of 128 block radius. And if you need to be someplace where nothing can spawn, your best bet is to spawn in the air. So I popped myself up so far, and I didn't build that. I rendered that. So that is basically a despawn sphere. It will tell you where things can spawn and where they can't. And once we get inside of it, I'll show you more what I mean. Once again, it's not really there. It's just rendered. It's just for visual benefit. You can see it's even underwater. So what this sphere means is basically if you were standing at the dead center, well, let's see, this stuff needs dug up. That's right. So if you were standing at the absolute center of this sphere, this will show you all of the places within it that has a solid top where a mob can spawn. And right now, all of this sand that's inside of the sphere, I have to dig it out, which is not a problem. That'll be super duper easy because I don't want anything spawning except for inside of that box. I have to dig this stuff out. And how did I do that? Well, this sphere is made just with my S key, of course. You can go ahead, try it. Fire up your Minecraft and hit your S key. It's not going to work. This is actually associated with the mod that I have in the top left there that shows the 60 FPS and the Minecraft time and which direction I'm facing, server ticks per second. And I think that's actually accurate because I think we're running on a Fabric server. And I think it's actually sending the heartbeat, but I'm not sure. Pretty sure. Anyway. This is I think like Matica is, Mini HUD is a mod by a guy called Masa. I think Masa plays on SciCraft, but I'm not sure. Masa mods, good stuff. I'll have a link. But this is called Mini HUD, and what it does is it can list any of these things that you want to see. All kinds of stuff. It does a lot of stuff. Give you all these different informational lines. It can give you different colors for those informations. It does more stuff in single player. For instance, last stream I talked about how we had to convince iron golems to walk into the hole by using their pathfinding by putting trapdoors. In single player, when you're using Mini HUD, you can actually turn pathfinding on. I actually have it before, but it never does. See, it doesn't work in multiplayer. But it will show you where mobs intend to walk. It'll literally just draw a line block to block to block and show you where they're going to walk to let you know if they can pathfind or not. Very, very cool. It does this. You can go here. You can go to shapes. You can create a new shape or configure the one you're in. This one is, I think it's this one because that one's turned off. Yep, there we go. You can tell it where you want your center point. How did I find my center point? This was the tricky part. This has nothing to do with mini HUD, but what I did is I went out here because you didn't really get a good view of it, but this is just a bit of water that's between like 3 points of land. Oh, I'm going to drown. I always drown. So I just towered up a bit. I should do this one at a time because I always just about fall off the other way. Yeah, if you got a friend request from Tara, that's Tim. Tim's a good dude. So how high am I? Not high enough. Almost getting there. Oh, that's not good. That doesn't go there at all. Just a bit more. This is how you can tell that a guy has played entirely too much Minecraft with his elytra on. So, what I went out here. I wanted to find a place where there was very low likelihood of any mob spawning, and in the middle of water is a pretty good place. But I also wanted a place that wasn't so far away from where I spend most of my time in AFK that it was difficult to get to. So I figured in this little bay area here was pretty good. So I came up here and I found a place that looked pretty good, and I fired up my sphere, and you see I have it pretty well centered. I can raise it or lower it. I could probably raise it a little bit to make life a little easier, but I'm not going to, because as I said, you want to be as low as possible in a given chunk in order to optimize spawning. It's just a fact. I don't know how the math works, but that's how it do. That Italian guy, I can never remember his name. He's explained it very, very well, and I always forget how it works because it doesn't affect my gaming day today. So I got up here. Let's see. I think, where's this sphere set? It's at 177, so it's actually set a little bit higher as far as the center goes. I figured this was a good spot, and then I calculated where my schematic needed to go. And I got to turn translucent back on. And I put on my schematic, and I figured out the exact height for where there's the optimum place for the AFK spot, which is... And I made two different versions of this farm, too. There's a short version and a tall version. I like the short version. It's much more compact. It's fairly effective. You can see the trapdoors in there, so I don't want any spiders in it. You want to make a sky castle. Let's see. Oh, damn it, that's twice I've done that. I don't have enough sand. Or I went too high. Yeah, I went too high. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyways, I figured out the exact right place, and then here was the tricky part. As I said, I wanted to make this pretty much a one-chunk farm, which is... I'll turn this off. I'll turn that off. If you hit F3 and G, it shows you your chunk boundaries and your region boundaries for that matter. So as you can see, I am in the middle of a chunk, and my mob farm is, at least the spawning spaces between that block and that block are exactly centered, at least east to west, inside of a single chunk. So all the spawning in this farm is done inside of a chunk. And I have it centered up with the despawn sphere. So, it's all, just geometry. A little measurement here, a little measurement there. And the difference in placement of one or two blocks might be trivial. It might not make that much of a difference, but then again, it might. And if it's just a matter of moving the whole thing over one block before I build it in the wrong place, well, then I'd rather do it this way than have to start from scratch. So that's what I use Mini HUD for quite a lot. Mini HUD does a lot of other things. I'm going to try and find some... in my Discord, I'm going to put links for all the home pages and all the downloads, but I'm going to try and find some how to use these mods links as well, because they're all so good. They're all worth looking into a little bit. Lightmatica, it does a lot of really cool stuff. I use it to just make templates and paste them into the world once, but they do like, you can paste schematics in grids. If you're in creative mode, you can actually paste the whole schematic and put the actual, not quite physical, but the actual blocks in place, and you can do that over and over and over again. That's on the one, was it a World Eater? No, a Diamond Digger that I built that was based on El Mango's machine. That's how I did that one. What else do we have? Oh, I know what's next. What's next? Let me get down off of here. It's terrifying. Fun, just terrifying. Oh, and if you don't know this, this is the best way to mine for sand. That's all there is to it. Just put a torch under a stack of sand. They all break. The falling blocks break. Don't even have to dig them. What's next? What's next indeed? Let me check my list here in a second. You didn't know that? Oh my god, that's like one of the oldest tricks ever. Mind blown, she says. Works for gravel too, how about that? Oh, drowning. I'll actually show you a sand mine that I have dug right now. Actually, see where it says never dark also, and then it's counting down the meters? I think that's the next mod we're going to get into. I know Ship knows that one. It technically works with concrete powder too, but I can't imagine a time where you would actually need to do that. Basically, any falling block. I want to start building, actually, since I'm going over this and I've got that schematic in place, I keep looking at it, but it's not there. That schematic in place, I'm probably going to start building that tomorrow. And then I will be the gunpowder magnate. I could build a gunpowder farm. It's not going to happen because I don't like having more than one. All right. So, let me check my list. So we did BBOR quickly, Fabric, like Matica, Malib, Mini HUD, which is this one. OptiFabric, OptiFine, we're going to skip over. We're going to go to Voxel Map. Voxel Map is right up there. It's my mini map. Some people don't like mini maps. Some people abuse them. This one is it's more powerful than it needs to be because if you can turn on mobs detection. As you can see, I can actually see that there are mobs underground below me. These little black squares. So if you're out and about and in the woods, you can look at your mini map and you can see that a zombie is sneaking up on you. Oh my god! And you'd be like, get away. And there are people who go on and say that that's super cheaty. It's slightly cheaty, but it's not game altering. If you're in a PvP kind of environment and you see people sneaking up on you, that's a different story. But if you're just trying to not get janked up by some creeper when you're trying to be productive, that's a different story altogether. Oh, and you can see my armor is now wearing a falling leaves head. She decorated him. But the reason I initially started using Voxel Map, I used a map mod a long time ago that actually had a whole separate window on the right side. So cool. I really like that one. I don't remember what it was called. I know it hasn't worked in a very, 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 very long time, but it was great. Yeah, see that map? You can see all the mobs on there and where they are. And as you zoom in, you can see less and less of them. People think that bit is cheaty. I just like to know where I am at and where I'm going, so I don't say, oh, I'm going to build this house. I built it out in the woods and go back to spawn area to get something and then never find my place again. Nope. Now, Voxel Map does some neat stuff. It's got full screen map. So this is my area. You can zoom in on it. You can zoom way out and actually see where you've been. So when I first logged onto this computer on this server, I started here. And I ventured down through the woods, and across the snow and ice and up through the desert. And then I eventually found this village, and I've been here ever since. And then spawn, of course, is way up here. And it doesn't zoom in like down to a super tight level or super detailed level the way the Dynamap does, but it's very nice. You can set waypoints. For instance, I have one set for R. I don't know what that is. Get rid of that. But Never Dark also just basically shows where my little home village is. One of the nice features, if you turn it on, if you turn it on, it can actually detect where it'll make a waypoint whenever you die. So if you're like, oh my God, where's all my gear? I had all this fly shit I was wearing. Fire a button. That's maybe a little cheaty. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I said, I don't think it's game breaking. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But it will show a waypoint on your map and show you exactly where you need to go to get back to your stuff so it doesn't evaporate before you get there. Voxel map is very easy. It's very lightweight. It's very handy. And I really like using it. I do. Ship says death points is a must-have. I tend to agree, except I don't die, so I don't really have to worry about it. I've always been adamant about playing in a creative on survival type of situation. I don't like the PvP thing. I don't like the whole going around chopping each other up, but that's just me. And I'm pretty sure this this server is non-PvP explicitly, so I feel right at home here. Now, as I go down deeper and deeper, I don't know if you can tell, but it does show you where some caves are. Once again, that's kind of cheaty, but not game-breakingly. Keeps you from getting lost so much. This is my strip mine that I just started laying out. First bit was already done. I just kind of did that end and this end today. Some of these tunnels go back 400 or 500 blocks, and that is why it's really, really easy to get diamonds. But I just wanted to show how the cave mode worked on the voxel map. It's very, very nice. I like voxel map. Found a game setting when you make a world that lets you keep your stuff when you die. Yeah, but you can't really do that in survival, so you better get used to being a little bit more fleet-footed. Personally, I have a policy, because I'm a huge coward, of just never going into the nether if I can help it. I hate it. I've always hated it. I hate it so much. The lava runs like water, and you catch on fire. It's terrible. I don't like it at all. I go there for quartz, and that's about it. Leaves and Sten gifted me a ender chest, which is super nice, and I bought a bunch of books from them. All right, what is next? The next one... let's see. I believe the server is going to be reset officially and for sure. I think it's within a week. I think maybe this weekend. So, if you want to get ready, you know what? Whenever they do announce what the reset is, just jump in, just die. There are players of all skill levels and all proficiency on this server, and it's a lot of fun. This server is very much about the community and building up the community. It's a really it's a great blast. Sten and Leaves are on here constantly tormenting me. You see I've got pressure plates all over the place because Leaves was on here spelling out no because she protests my farms. She does not like this cow farm one bit. This is a fun farm. You breed the cows, and because they're standing on iron fences, the babies fall down through, and they get flushed down here, and then they end up... I don't know if I have any in there or not right now. They end up right here, and you can just stab away. Poor cows, right? It's a good thing they're just bits. Just objects in memory. And then hoppers, and then beef and leather. I don't have any filters set up. I will eventually. It's early yet. And Addie just logged on. Hello, Addie. And let's see, what's next? Okay, what's next? All right, so the next mod that I'm going to get into that I use is called Optifine. I've used Optifine for years. With the newer versions of Minecraft, I don't even know if it's necessary, but I really like having a zoom key. Optifine was originally designed to, as it's in the name, oh, look at you, still on, optimize the way that Minecraft was rendered and the way it used memory. It just optimized a lot of parts of the Minecraft client to make it run better and look better. And if you go to, and it still does that, but like I said, with the newer versions of Minecraft being a very, very refined code base, I don't think it's as necessary as it used to be, but it's still really, really nice. Plus, it allows you to load shaders. And oh, excuse me, there's that beer protesting again. Ugh, I'm foul. It allows you to load shaders, and a lot of people really, really like to use shaders. My machine isn't burly enough. Plenty of RAM. Got plenty of RAM. It's just, I don't have the processing power. So if you go here and go to video settings, you can see I've got all kinds of extra buttons with Optifine. Shaders, dynamic lighting, performance, other quality, all this extra stuff. This is a pretty important extra settings that you don't normally have. Like you can turn on this and show FPS, but they're already on up there. Is that where that puts it? Oh, what have I done? One too far, one too many. Yeah, it's kind of overlapped the other one. But yeah, Optifine optimizes the game. Now, the thing about Optifine, if you remember back to the beginning of this discussion, how when you install Fabric Mod Loader, it gives you a new game launch option. Well, generally, when you install Optifine, it will give you its own run Minecraft with Optifine type of option. So how do you run Fabric and Optifine, which each of them has their own launcher? Well, that's next on the list. There is, I better get in here so I don't get abused by phantoms while I discuss it. And I'm stuck in a cobweb. There is yet another mod called OptiFabric, which is not official to Fabric. It's not official to Optifine, but it allows you to load Optifine while using Fabric Mod Loader. It's supposed to be experimental. It's supposed to be unreliable. It works really well for me. There are some things that you can't do. I don't know what they are because I don't do them. But I have read in forums that there are some things that you can't do in Optifine when you're using it with Fabric. So, if you're going to use Optifine, when you use the Fabric Mod Loader, like I do, just get OptiFabric. You do have to have them both. You do have to have them both in your mods folder, or else it won't work. And then the last one. The last mod that I use, I'm going to try this again. If I go to single player and it janks up my stream, I apologize. Last one I use is called World Edit. World Edit has been around in many versions for a very, very long time. And it's generally just creative mode. But if you are doing a lot of repetition in a build in creative mode, World Edit is indispensable. And World Edit is another one that, in my opinion, is indispensable when you're designing things. It just makes life so much easier and so much smoother once you learn to use it. But it's one of those ones that does so many different things. I know like 2 or 3 different things that it does, and that's it. But it does a lot more. So let me see if I can go there to the single world and see if I can get it to load and not break anything. It's probably going to jank up my stream again, but we'll see. Just give me 1 second. Let's go to my device tests. Yeah, see, I can see it's already going to... It's just going to lag me out. That's how I do. All right, device tests. Ah, there's the pathfinding I was talking about from Mini HUD. It actually... Did I jump down there in survival mode and not die? Spectator. These are all paths that these guys can walk, and I should give myself night vision, right? Once again, trapdoors on there so they think they can walk over it, and this demonstrates that this, one of these guys, someone here thinks they can walk across this because there are trapdoors. That's all. That's all the pathfinding does. All right, let's get to world edit, right? I'm not too chunky right now, so that's good. So world edit. World edit asks you to have a specific item in your hand that you use as your selector. And the way to get it is you go to an empty hand, you type / wand. It'll give you a wooden axe. And it works like Lightmatica in that it will ask you to select 2 points. So left click for point 1. That was weird and kind of choppy. And I forgot to turn off the bubbles again. Tisk, tisk, shame. And then a right click for point 2. Now it doesn't draw the outline box, but it doesn't matter. So let's say I needed a whole other one of these. I have this selected from this block up to that block. I would go stand right in front of it. Now when you do these commands, it's copy, cut, and paste. It will copy relative to your position. So I have my face right up against this block. When I go to copy, / copy, it copies everything in the area that I selected relative to where my face is. So if I go over here and I type / paste, uh-oh, look at this. We have another mob farm. So let's say I want to select this area. And see, I could do that with a wall or an entire building. I actually did do it with an entire building. I'll show you after this. So this is selected now, and I have decided I don't like sandstone. So I am going to say / replace, let's just say sandstone with diamond block. Boop, it's now diamonds. Easy peasy. It's staying in the world. Yeah, this it actually made a copy and made a brand spanking new one. Like I said, when you are in creative mode, which I'm in right now, world edit is absolutely indispensable. All those machines down there, those are all those diamond digging machines. I made a single unit, and then I pasted a whole bunch of them in a row, got them all connected, and then I used Lightmatica to make a schematic of that, and then I pasted the schematic in TerraChunks the first, and block by block I went through and built that in survival and dug diamonds with it. All from that little piece using World Edit and Lightmatica. Pretty slick, right? So, what else do we have to show? That's what I use. That's it. That's about the long and the short of it. I wish I could have shown Bounding Box Outline Reloaded a little more details, but it didn't want to run. Oh, I'll do some more with World Edit while we're here. Why not? See, cut and paste some bedrock there. Let's say I want to make a gigantic hole. Select that, left click, position 1, position 2. I come down here and right click, boom. Now I just type cut, Goodbye. Say I don't want that hole. / undo. Puts it back. Let's say I want to replace it all with, I don't know. Let's replace it with air, which will do essentially the same thing as cut. Replace £, existing with air. Same thing, right? Now, the area is selected, but what if I wanted to replace it with, say, cobblestone now? Can I do replace existing? That doesn't work. Even though the area is still selected, that doesn't work. But what does work is if you do replace air with cobblestone. That'll work. Now there are commands like, well, you can hit your slashes. It shows you all the commands, but there's brush, there is fill, there's tons of them that I just simply don't understand whatsoever because I've never delved into. I didn't need any of that stuff. The most important ones are cut, copy, paste, replace, and undo for sure. There's my world back. Very, very nice. Oh, let's see. Here's let's do another example. Do a quick one. Quick example. So we will go here. We'll go here. Copy. Paste. Paste. All right, now we have a wall. Quickest wall I've ever built. Select 1. Select 2. And we will go copy. Now it's on the clipboard. Check this. Rotate 90 degrees. Stand right here. Exact same wall. Turn 90 degrees. I'm telling you, creative mode without world edit is nonsense. That's all there is to it. This is the most dangerous thing you could actually definitely do with the mob you just showed us. With world edit, you can get carried away. If you try to copy too big of an area, and especially if you try to paste too large of an area, it can basically totally shit the bed on your game. I don't know that it can corrupt worlds. I don't doubt it, but it can definitely shut one down. At work, we were actually considering setting up a Minecraft server for our students to use. It never happened, but we were considering it. And we were building a spawn area, and I was building a wither, and I kept trying to do the copy and pasting, and I didn't really have a firm grasp of what I was doing yet. And yeah, I kind of janked up the entire server a few times by trying to paste this massive, like 256 diameter sphere. I tried to paste it. It was bad. It was bad. It was made of leaves, which made it even worse because there was no wood, so they were like deteriorating. Anyways, I had to be able to fire up the server just long enough to be able to type the undo command and basically make it not break everything. So it's early. I got through all that stuff faster. I guess I did give really brief overviews of some of those mods, but that's okay. That's okay. I actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and paste those links in Discord now, and you can hang with me while I do. And then I think I'm going to maybe just play a little bit of Minecraft. Let me bring this over here. We'll go to Q. We'll go to MC, and half of it's already typed up. So down through mini HUD. There's that bit. And then I have the rest on a text document because apparently I was over the character count, which I didn't even know there was a character count. Oh, and at the bottom, I mentioned earlier that a few of those mods, like Matica and Mini HUD, specifically are made by a guy named Masa, or goes by the name of Masa. I put a link to his homepage, which is just some downloads, but also to his GitHub, which is the, well, Honeybee, you know what GitHub is. It's basically a repository where he stores his code so he doesn't lose it, I would imagine. So let me go back here and paste that one. And this one's going to get pinned somehow. Where do you pin it? Is it just this? I don't understand. Oh, because users with message can't pin the cogwheel. I'll pin them later. Anyways, they're in the MC channel on my Discord. I think it's just about time. So let me get logged off of this and hit the magical. There we go. All right, guys. This stream started out to be about mods, what they are and how to use them, which ones I personally use. If you didn't catch all of it, or if you want to know more about that information, the VOD has its name implied, a video on demand. It's available to watch. It'll be for 60 days. It'll be there. So Sam, go back, watch the bit about Lightmatica because you need to learn how to use it. If any of you have any questions, go to my Discord and join up. And, just ask me. If I know the answer, I'll give it to you to the best of my ability. And if I don't, I will, try to help you find a resource that can answer whatever question you may have. Some of those client-side mods, especially in creative mode, make a world of difference. Absolute world of difference. They can save you so much time as far as getting what you want to built by using the copy paste command, so you don't have to do every single block. And then of course Lightmatica will let you take that template and carry it into a multiplayer world and have it at your disposal, so you will not make a mistake. You will have every block as it needs to be without Sam having to log out the single player to look where that block needs to go and then come back into multiplayer. It lets you build layer by layer by layer in case there are bits of your project that are hidden. It saves you a ton of time, and it saves you IRL time, which is super important, but it also saves you game time. So like Sten and Leaves, you can get so far ahead. Imagine if Sten and Leaves were using the power of World Edit and Lightmatica. Imagine where they'd be right now. Anyways, thank all of you for stopping by, for checking out the stream. Follows are good. I'm a big fan of follows. So, if you've watched some of the stream or all the stream and you've liked it at all and you want to watch some more stuff, go ahead and give us a follow. Social, you can find me on Insta. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube at QdBMC. Go click the follow links. If you're expecting something spectacular, you'll be disappointed, but that's okay because you'll feel better for having followed me on those platforms. YouTube, once the reset for Terra is done and we are doing a true start, yes, we're making videos. Don't know how it's going to be fun. No idea. I have no idea what is going to come of it. It's going to be fantastic. Schedule. Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, America. That's the most reliable schedule. And then pop-ups through the week, but it's normally Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening at this point. Maybe some others in between. The Sunday ones will almost always be Minecraft. The middle of the week ones, maybe, probably, but not always. Sometimes Marbles will happen. Sometimes Among Us will happen. I was watching Jellies on YouTube today, and Marbles is where it's at. Anyways. Oh, I also said, there's an Among Us mod for Minecraft. I am dying to try it out. So if I can get a crew together, wow, I went past the end of the song. If I can get a crew together, I may have to set up an Among Us Minecraft server, and we'll have to get a game of Among Us on Minecraft going. It'll be fun. I'm sure we can get enough players going. It would be a blast. That would be a good Sunday morning thing. So we did social, we did scheduling. So with that, this will be, QdB signing off, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.